Here we go. Neener, neener, boo-boo. Overcast, YouTube, and Podcast Addict. How's that for a tease?
I like that one.
Makes no sense.
Who cares?
Basically, Overcast, YouTube, and Podcast Addict are probably places you listen to us. Or if you don't, you can share them with your friends so that everyone in the entire free world as we know it can like, subscribe, and or follow us, whether you have fingerprints or not.
This is True, Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true,
Really?
as far as you know.
And England's...
A reticulated python or not?
Or not, yes. Who have no fingerprints, by the way. And England...
They don't?
No,
They have that
don't.
same disease?
Yeah, it's the same thing. A lot of people don't know that. An England soccer fan who stuck a flare up his butt and appeared to snort cocaine in front of a cheering crowd refuses to apologize for sneaking into Wembley Stadium at the final between England and Italy.
Of course he does.
Charlie Perry, 25. Are you ready for this? Says
No, probably not.
He drank 20 cans, count them, 20 cans of cider and banged a load of powder during a 15-hour bender the day of the match.
Wait a minute. So the match is like what, 8 o'clock at night?
Oh, I can't remember.
Let's do the math on this, shall we?
Right. When asked if he would apologize.
Set the alarm early. I have to get toasted before I go to the soccer.
When asked if he would apologize for his behavior, Perry said, nah, no way. I'm not saying sorry. The roofer from Sunbury-on-Thames claims to be a veteran, and I don't know how it's pronounced, gibber or gibber.
Sure.
Spelled with a G. It's a fan who sneaks into matches without paying and says he did the same for the semifinal against Denmark.
So he does it very subtly by putting a flare, because who would notice that?
Perry says that after 18 months of misery since COVID-19 struck the UK, he thought his stunt with the flare in his backside would cheer people up. And he claimed there was so much alcohol in his system, he didn't feel any pain from the sparks. Insisting he has no regrets, Mr. Perry was quoted as saying, "See you in Cotter." Not if I see you first, pal.
And you should, because
This is
probably light giving off from the...
the flare.
If you've been following, the Washington Post had a story a couple weeks ago that Brazil's president, Jair Bolsonaro, is expected to be under observation at the Armed Forces Hospital in Brasilia for a few days.
Oh, I saw this.
Doctors trying to determine the cause behind chronic hiccups.
Right.
I know, it sounds like a bad joke, right?
Right.
He's been hiccuping for more than 10 days, even at public events. I mean, it's not like he only hiccups in private.
I save it for special times when I'm alone.
The president thinks the hiccups may be related to some medicines he was taking after dental implant surgery. Oh. And this is not the first time he's had something weird health-wise. While he was suffering from COVID-19 last year, he was also bitten by a large emu-like bird.
What's a large emu-like bird?
I'm guessing it's an emu.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe one of the cousins they don't talk about. Anyway, he was basically in the hospital the way it looks now. I did some snooping. He was supposed to have been released Sunday.
Okay.
You know what caused the hiccups? Complications following a near-fatal 2018 stabbing.
Oh, really?
That's what they're thinking. They were going to give him some soup and pureed food, which is always very entertaining. And if he could eat that and keep it all down, and he'd be back at the, well, in our country, he'd be back at the Oval Office. I don't know what they send you to there. Good luck in God. Speed.
You know, I recently read about a guy who had hiccups his entire life.
Yeah.
Well, not his entire life,
but
had him like for 45 years.
Yep.
And then they finally get rid of him, and he died the next year. And that's not fair.
Doesn't seem right.
That poor guy. Officers discovered a severed foot on a public footpath in New Waltham, North.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Let me appreciate that for just a minute. Okay, that's good.
It is a public footpath.
It is. What would you expect to find? A severed arm? Come on, don't be rude.
Tad more literal than the cops would have liked, I'm sure. It was in New Waltham, Northeast Lincolnshire in 2019. They found this back in 2019. Forensic exams have led to the conclusion the foot was that of a woman aged over 16 and around 5 feet 2 inches tall. So she was, short like my mom.
Kara's height.
Extensive investigations have been carried out over the last 2 years into missing people, forensic testing, and DNA analysis, but no match has been found. So according to Detective Chief Inspector Alan Curtis, a team of detectives have been working to ascertain the identity of the individual and to determine how the body part came to be on the path. One line of our inquiry is that the foot may have been clinical waste from a medical procedure. Although this must seem a very strange request, we are now appealing for any female in the Humberside Police Force area and Lincolnshire that has had a medical what?
Missing a foot?
Yeah, that has had a medical procedure to remove her left foot since 2014. They want them to contact him. Are you missing a foot? Did it happen?
I wonder.
In 2014.
Could it have been like a cousin or a distant relative of Thing?
This is my third cousin, fourth times removed.
You call
it's one we don't talk about.
Fourth time removed. You're just. This person should have their criminal license suspended
or taken away entirely.
Exactly. Well, they may do that now. A 48-year-old unnamed woman from Brock Township in Ontario, Canada, managed to get herself arrested in July for the theft of a surveillance camera in May, according to CP24 TV. A suspect proceeded to take pictures of themselves with the stolen camera, which, of course, were remotely sent to the owner of the stolen camera.
Because of Wi-Fi?
Unbeknownst to the suspect, who apparently should have, done a little homework. Arrested, charged with possession of property obtained by crime, and not being the brightest bulb in the basket. The tastiest sandwich in the fork. Aye.
The loneliest bowling ball under the house.
Wonder how they're doing, by the way. I'd like to see pictures.
This is true, really news. Send email to TiTR@netradio.network.